Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bianca, and yeah, as you may have noticed, I am joined today by one of my little furry friends whose name is Pepper. Say hi to the world, Pepper. Meow. So I came to a realization a few days ago that I am basically 1 year into my new job in real estate investing. Well, time flies. It was a fairly risky and personal decision that I had to make, but to my pleasant surprise, many of you were actually really curious to learn more about the new job that I have taken up. So I just thought, why not make a video to give you a simple, hopefully simple summary of what my new role entails. And if I happen to gather enough interest, hopefully with a bit of help from little Pepper over here, well, I see absolutely no harm going further down the knowledge sharing rabbit hole in the future. But you know what? Let's not jump the gun. Instead, we shall get started with the basics. Right, Pepper? Let's get started. So, a real estate investment trust, or REIT, is basically a fund that owns income generating real estate. Structured as collective investment schemes, REITs essentially raise the necessary capital that they need by issuing what we call as units, which is basically the industry lingo for shares to the general public. Okay, well, technically there are also private REITs, meaning to say that they are not actually publicly traded, but for the purpose of this video, we are going to focus purely on publicly listed REITs. You can kind of think of such collective investment approach to be a way to democratize real estate investing, which is particularly useful for individuals who may not have the substantial funds in order to buy property directly. Plus, a key feature of REITs is that they are legally obligated to return a significant portion of their income back to their unit holders. Typically, at least 90% of the income generated from the REIT's properties would be returned to the unit holders in the form of distribution, which is basically the industry lingo again for the word dividends. This requirement to pay out most of the incomes help REITs to maintain their tax advantage status and to also provide consistent returns to their unit holders. Now, the range of real estate assets owned by REITs can be extensive and varied. Common examples could be shopping malls, offices, hotels, industrial warehouses, schools, or maybe even hospitals. These assets are usually chosen because of their ability to generate consistent rental income and also their potential to appreciate in building value over time. You can also have diversified REITs such as the one that I'm working at, where we essentially invest into many different kinds of real estate assets under one fund so that we can help to spread out our risk and to hopefully generate an increasing amount of rental income over time through positive rental reversions. In the meantime, well, since there are many different kinds of assets such as stocks or, well, God forbid, cryptocurrency, why would anyone in their right mind invest into REITs? Well, there are a few main reasons. As I mentioned earlier, one of the significant advantages of investing into REITs is its low investment threshold. As opposed to purchasing physical properties, which usually require a large amount of down payment, you can basically invest into REIT units with very small sums of money. It could be as little as, say, $100. So this type of accessibility would essentially allow more and more people to participate in the real estate market. On top of that, REITs are a lot more liquid than physical properties. Like I said, if the REIT happens to be publicly traded on the stock exchange, you can essentially convert them into cash just as easily as how you trade stocks. Meanwhile, investing in REITs also offer you the opportunity to earn passive income. REITs generally pay out a steady distribution and their yields tend to range between 5 to 8%. Hence, if you happen to be a more income-focused investor, then REITs might be a much more attractive option for you. Besides that, REITs also provide a much more hassle-free investment experience. You and I wouldn't need to take out large mortgages, manage our tenants, or even maintain the properties. All these responsibilities are handled by professional managers So investors will be able to enjoy the benefits of real estate ownership without having the associated headache. Other than that, REITs provide a level of diversification that is rather difficult to achieve with individual physical property investment. By owning units in a REIT, investors will be able to gain exposure to a portfolio of physical properties across many different locations and sectors. Again, this helps to spread your risk and also to offer more stable returns. With that, I hope that my summary earlier helps to give you a decent idea of what my fund does. And now, what exactly is my role within such an organization? Well, I am part of the business development division. My job is to find buildings that my REIT can acquire and make sure that it is a worthwhile investment so that we will be able to deliver all the benefits that I explained to you earlier. During the process, I would say that it involves performing a fair bit of market research across the different real estate classes, and it also involves conducting some feasibility studies for new acquisitions, as well as now I would say I'm also expected to try to build a network of leads for future opportunities. Okay, all of that may sound a little bit fancy, but as we all know, work will always come with its more administrative sides. So what else is part of my job scope? Well, I would also have to say that a core part of my job also involves a lot of liaising. And that's because when you're buying a building, there are a lot of different stakeholder groups that you gotta manage. They could be external, so people like independent property valuers, engineering consultants, lawyers, or even government authorities. On the flip side, internally, I am not only expected to work together with the other business development team members, but to also liaise with other parties such as say the in-house legal counsel, whom we have to work together to draft legal documentation such as the sales and purchase agreement, or I could also be working with the finance team to make sure we have the money required to fund the purchase, or even say the investor relations team to make sure that we are able to coordinate a professional media announcement. Not to mention, the job also entails a fair bit of ad hoc support that you're expected to provide depending on the kind of firefighting that we need to do. Someone could suddenly ask for your help with analyzing data. On another day, another colleague may need to pick your brains for a project risk return study. So at the end of the day, I would essentially summarize my job as being part analyst and part project manager. On that note, Pepper and I would like to say thanks a lot for taking the time to watch my video. I hope that my video gave you a decent overview of what my new job, relatively new job entails. If you found it to be useful, do consider hitting the like, subscribe and bell icon. If you're interested, I've also shared a fairly personal video as to how and why I've landed this job, so do check that out. In the meantime, I wish you a pleasant day ahead and I shall see you in my next video. Bye bye!